Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Classic Arcade Repairs. Sean here with you. I just got done actually converting. This harness was the harness that I made for Lasso when I did the repair on Lasso. And if you watched that, you probably heard me say that I didn't like having to make that harness and use an edge connector and one of these fingerboards for that, because I know I'll never see another Lasso board, but I had to because I couldn't hook up to it. Well, I converted that harness that I made to a food fight because my next repair is food fight. I got a food fight board to look at. So I just got done swapping these wires. I had to move almost every wire around, and I reheat shrink it, and there's a lot of soldered pins on here and stuff that are not used in food fight. But I've got the analog connector for the two pots to move the analog joystick, and this was my sheet that I used for hooking it all up. Got it off of Clove, Museum of the Game. But yeah, so we will get this guy right here. We'll give it a look, and I think before I do anything is I'm going to go ahead and look at all of the ROMs and test all of the RAM. First thing first. I want to just do that because that tells me, okay, I'm starting off with a slate where I know this stuff is good. I don't have to worry about is this stuff good or not. Just test it, dump all of these, and it's just easier that way. It's a better way to start on a board repair, is just know what's good. So that's what I'm going to do. And this is a nice clean board. We'll see what's up with it. It's a 16-bit processor. I did not know that Food Fight was a 16-bit game. So, interesting. But yeah, got my new harness here for this. And I'm going to go ahead and pull all of these EEPROMs, pull all of these RAMs, and I'll wash the board. I always wash the boards. So I'll pull this guy out of here carefully. Inspect everything really good. And I already tested the pokies. This thing has 3 pokey chips, and I've already tested those in another board, and those are good. So we're starting off with a lot of known factors after I test all this stuff. So the CPU, I don't know if it's any good, but I do have an extra CPU just in case. So okay, well, we'll be back. Okay, well, I decided to go ahead and hook this thing up, and I tested the voltage, and it's at like 4.78, which is good enough. And I got it over here, and you can see it's in test. And this is good. The test is working. It says RAM 0. So, RAM 0, huh? Alright. Now we know what it's telling us, so let's just go ahead and do what I said I was going to do. I'm not going to touch this. I'm not going to remove this, I don't think. I don't want to mess with this processor. So what I am going to do is remove everything else, test everything, and then go from there. And in an interesting turn of events, I just got done testing all of the RAM, and they all test good. So our RAM 0 message that we had on the screen is the result of a different problem. And we have one of these guys on this board. It's one of these S153 chips. So if that thing is involved in decoding in any way, then that could be kicking off a false, RAM error. I still have to go through all the ROMs, but I suspect they'll probably be okay, but it's good to check. I did download, I found this file. It's not in the version of MAME that I have. I need to update my MAME version. I bet you this is in ROM sets that are newer than what I got. But yeah. Anyway, I did find this online. I downloaded this file, and we're going to check this guy. First, I'm going to check all of those, and then we'll check this guy. Okie doke. I have verified all of the ROMs are good, and I have just verified that 82S153, I verified that it is good, as you can see. It verifies with the file that I downloaded, so that's good. And yeah, so we have a decoding problem. We have a board logic failure on the board, it looks like, or a bad socket or something. I still have to look at the board really good, and we'll do that. I'll put all this up, and yeah, we'll be back. All right, I went ahead and I cleaned this board really good, and it is sparkly and beautiful now. I'm going to let it dry overnight here. Just evaporate, let this alcohol all evaporate off. And then we can repopulate and start troubleshooting with a nice clean board with all of the memory tested. The pokies are all tested. This guy's tested. And being that it's doing something, I take it that the CPU works. I think we just have decoding issues. So we'll look into it. Look into it tomorrow. I don't have the sync quite dialed in up top, but it's good enough. Turn it down. So I repopulated, and I'll tell you what I do. These sockets, and this, I'll give a shout out to my friend Todd, because this is one thing he always did, and we always did, but this was his thing. This stuff right here, CRC plastic safe multi-purpose precision lubricant improves electrical properties. I have a rubber band with a little brush, and what I do is I spray that brush, and I just kind of go in these sockets and brush them with that stuff. It cleans them and puts a little film of lubrication on them. You keep them from corroding and getting nasty, hopefully. But it does wonders. You do that, and then you kind of straddle these types of sockets. These sockets were clean. They were good. These ones, a lot of times, will get really corroded and oxidized, and I replace them. But these ones looked good. They looked really shiny and basically new after I washed the board and cleaned them. So yeah, I cleaned this guy. The legs on this were all tarnished. I cleaned that. Like I said, I washed this board really good and lubricated all these sockets. Just a little light brushing of that stuff in there, and that was it. food fight. I got my pot harness. This is the same harness I use for Star Wars with the pots. The joysticks and yokes or whatever that use 2 pots. Warlords, I use one of these for each of the 4 spinner things in Warlords. A lot of games use this type of stuff. So, yeah. So I'll set the camera up over there and we'll mess around with the game a little bit. Look at the colors on that, how good that looks. Wow. Turn the volume back up. Okay, you ready? See his eyes look around. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll see if that even works. Left and right. Up and down. All right. Yeah, it's impossible to play without the joystick, but I can just, use that and make sure that all the directions on the pots are working, which they are. So. Well, ain't that weird? My monitor's vertical output just go bye-bye. Nice. Well, let me mess with that and see what's up with that. Yeah, I put it over on the Nintendo monitor. Yeah, something's up with this. It's like the vertical vertical output went crappy. I don't know. That's a bummer. Something else to figure out. Yeah, this thing does not sync well to Defender. This doesn't sync well to Williams games. Anything that has a weird resolution, this must have a different resolution. So yeah. Yep. Cool. Alright. Well, that's it for this one. Nice easy one. Just totally maintenance. Alright. Thanks for watching. As always, I'll let this one sit here and run. And we will see you on the next Classic Arcade Repairs. See you later, guys.